Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Happy 4th of July weekend. Hope everyone's staying safe, healthy, doing well. Um, Boy, it's been a week for me prior to the holiday. Work just had me running around. Flew in from Cleveland just before the holiday, literally the day before. And let me tell you, maybe it's the holidays, but boy, we were delayed leaving, and then it was another problem once we got into Philly and had to divert to Allentown, and it was nuts. So, travel's just not what it is anymore. It's just like it's there's always problems, there's always delays, people are getting moved around. Horrible. But anyway, with that said, wanted to make a quick video today. Jump on real quick. And I think it's going to be kind of a two purpose kind of video because Michael Richter has put out the challenge. He's laid down the gauntlet. He wants to do a 1 month carry challenge. So at first I was like, that's awesome, but I already carry a lot of knives. I don't know how this is going to work. And I use my knives just like Michael, but I figure I know what I can do. This will work. So for me, this is going to be a channel premiere of a knife that I got recently sometime back. I didn't get this from Michael, but what's kind of interesting is this is the GEC. Uh, Basically, it's a 32 in sandbar stag. So it's called an engineer sometimes, but it doesn't say that on this one. I have another of the same pattern that is called an engineer. So I'm not sure why this one's not, other than being stag. But nevertheless, this pattern is a great pattern. So we'll go over the pattern today. But here's the kind of the little interesting tidbit, my twist on it. This is a knife that Richter had. That wasn't the reason I got it. I didn't get it from him. This came through the community, and then ended up in my hands. And then I realized that he once had this exact knife. So Richter, because you made the challenge, I'm gonna do a little video on this, which needed to be done anyway for the channel. I'm very excited about this knife. It's one of my favorite pieces. It does already have patina, and some of this is probably previous owners, people from the community. This is what I love about the hobby, because this knife has a story behind it. It's been through the community's hands, but it also probably has a little bit of, ironically, Richter's patina. I'm going to go ahead and actually hop off. I'm going to clean this patina off and make it brand spanking new. I'm going to refurbish this knife, so to speak. And then I'll hop back on real quick in the same video, and we'll review this knife and talk a little bit about what I like, what I don't like, maybe compare it to the Engineer, which is another of the same pattern, but a different cover. And then basically I'm here to say that the challenge will be accepted. So hang on, hang tight, folks. I will be back. I'm just going to clean this patina off, There it is. It's some patina there. It's hard to see in this light, to be honest, but in the sunlight you can see it. And then I'll be back. All right, guys, welcome back. Through the power of magic and video, I have cleaned off the patina on this knife. Still got some smudges on it, but I don't think that's going to come off. All right, all right. So anyway, this is going to be just a quick little review. Again, got this knife a little bit a while back, and I'm just in love with it. And I actually am familiar with the GEC 32 pattern because I've had this one for a little bit. And this one is a different type of knife in terms of, I think, just aesthetics and carry, and I'll mention why. So this is going to be, let's see, what are we going to talk about first? First of all, the pattern. It's a swell center kind of design. Pen blade on one side and a clip point on the other. The stag is unshielded, but it's got fluted bolsters, which kind of adds a little bit to the aesthetic. Long pull over here and a nail nick for the pen. So I really like the carry and feel of this. The Stag, if you can see here, it's not overly bulbous towards the middle, which I prefer. It's got a couple of swells towards the ends here, and I don't know if they all look like that, but this one does, and it kind of is a little bit more restrained towards the middle, which is great. Also, I'm a big fan, if it's going to be Stag, that I like the matching, and this one did a great job of not just matching in terms of design and color, in my opinion at least, but also matches in width of the actual material. So the um, one side is not overly thicker than the other, and that's perfect. That's just a preference. You know, some people like one side being really fat and or both sides being very fat, or I just like it to match the entire way and not be too swelled towards the middle. And that's okay if it is a little bit swelled, but not like some are almost like it's like a balloon in the middle. And I don't know if I like that. So this is a really good job, at least my this particular example. And I just have been growing increasingly kind of in love with this type of equal end design. I don't know why it is. Like I've got the white owl that I've been carrying a ton, and there's just something really comfortable about both ends being like this. So I do have some experience with this pattern specifically. This is the Engineer that I'm holding. It's in the SPL. I think it's Earthstone. Blah 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 blah. I forget something. It's I don't know. Basically it's a micarta. I never can remember what all that stands for, but basically it's like a earthstone something laminate, and it very much resembles and feels like micarta. Tough, durable, aesthetically pleasing. But here's the difference. I think with this there's almost a more like modern, in my interpretation, it's more of like a scaled down, low key, modern aesthetic. Uh, and it's got a shield, which makes it nice. I like the Tidioute shield. I just wish they would do shields on the Stag. GC doesn't do it often. And I think I can understand why. Being that maybe there's some an added level of difficulty, perhaps. But yeah, without the shielding, I just wish they did put the shield on. So that would be my one takeaway that's detracting from this model. But with this, I do notice that it's hard to tell, but one is significantly thinner than the other. Not in terms of the back spring, but more, it's hard to tell, I guess, if you don't compare the two. But if you look at it straight on, you'll see that one has a lot more cover width. And this slips in the pocket almost like a different knife. It's so slim, whereas this is a little bit more in your hand. So if you want something to hold on to, this would be good. If you want something flatter in your pocket, this pattern would do, or this cover for this pattern would do better. Because this is a Tidioute type of what am I looking for? The word would be like line in the GEC lineup. The Tidioute just typically means that you're gonna have you're not gonna have a long pull. So if you don't mind that, that's okay. And some people do like the nail nick. I actually like the long pull. So there's the long pull. There's the nail nick. I also feel like the interplay of the swedging is different. So if you can see, here it comes to like a capped peak, and there's a nail nick that sort of nestles in underneath of it, whereas the long pull kind of terminates, and then there's a swedge that begins right there, and it is double-sided on the swedging. Although here it's harder to determine that there's a swedge because it kind of flows. If you can see the light, it kind of flows into the top of it and runs right down the to the point. Let me see if I can. There it is. Playing with the light here, guys. Bear with me. So there you go. The swedging here kind of almost rides along the top on the non-show side, and on the show side, there's a long pull, and then the swedge kind of begins where the pull terminates. For me, I prefer this configuration, and that's one of the big things for me. And I do almost always prefer fluting on the bolsters, and with two bolsters even more so. So in the check mark for the For the stag handled one, I like that. For this one, I would say fit and finish here is just the same. Excellent, awesome, but just more reserved and a little bit more stealthy. You can put this in your pocket. It's thin, it's light, it's durable too. So I think this is like, it really does live to the example of maybe this is what you would carry and use. And it's got, oh, I forgot to mention, with the Titty lineup, you've got the satin blade, right? So it's not as much of a fingerprint magnet. This one does have the etching, the PPP, which stands for Pattern Production Premier, which I guess would be, I don't know if that means that this is the pattern production for this type of cover with it, because I think the 32 has been made before, has it not? I don't know. I'm not a historian on all the GEC patterns. And since I got this new, so this is brand new, but I got this obviously from the secondary. I don't know if this had the pattern premiere. I don't think it was a pattern, was it? I don't know. But anyway, put in the comments if you know a little bit more about this pattern for GEC. But this one has a PPP, which means it's the first time it's been made in this pattern and configuration. And it is a nice knife. It really is. Carries well. When I first held it, I was surprised at how long it was. So it's a full handle, at least for me. It's I don't have the biggest hands, you know, so I have like maybe medium hands, and it fits great, you know. But this fits even better. This feels like a full knife. It's always surprising to me like how much of knife you get, and it just doesn't look like it at first. But if I were to pull out like if you're familiar out there with a 74 by GEC, put it right next to that for you. It's basically, let me get this out of the way. You're basically not losing much in terms of knife. And this is a single blade, but really great knife too, by the way. But if you're looking for something that's a little notch up in terms of sophistication, and you've got a thing for stag, and you've got another blade here that you can use, this is a great everyday all-around carry, which is why I have chosen it for the 1 month challenge. So now that I've cleaned off the patina, we're going to really put it to use, and I've kind of actually touched up the bolsters too. And I'm just cleaning it off with the little jeweler's cloth here. Try to get these fingerprints off. And that's the other thing about this particular pattern, the Northfield. The etching is starting to disappear. And if you're wondering what I did off camera, I just basically used some polish, some flits. And I just basically, this is how you can remove some of the patina. For those who are not familiar, it's one of the things I use. In another video, I also showed on the channel that I actually used Cape Cod cloth. I actually ran out of it for now, but it works just the same. I think Cape Cod cloth. If you go back and look at that video where I just kind of like finished the blade, works a little faster actually, and it just has to do with the chemicals and the abrasive, the micro abrasives. But works great. And then finally, these cloths are very similar. Again, many options out there, but this is a cloth that you can get on Amazon, and it comes in a pack of a bunch, and jewelers use this. What it is it's a fine abrasive inside too. So the more you use it, so like you can see here that there's already finger marks on there. It's like a darkening, and it's going to end up looking like this. And what happens is basically you're polishing micro bits off, and you're gonna get that shine back. It's not gonna be heavy duty, but it's gonna be just enough to bring back that luster and that shine. And you know, it kind of pops, and it takes off fingerprints and everything. It's very similar to sunshine cloth. If you've ever used sunshine cloth, it'll bring the shine back. It'll take away micro scratches, and it'll bring the color back from being tarnished. And also for blades, it will actually bring back a little bit of polish to the blades if it's already polished, but it won't like take it from satin and then bring it back to a gleaming mirror polish. That's not what these are for. This is more for already polished material. So you can get these, and they're like literally like, I don't even know, maybe 5 cents each, but they come in a pack of like 50 or something. So I have these laying around, and I just like them also, because of how small they are. Perfect for working with little, things like knives and jewelry and watches even. So like you can just polish up like a little corner of a watch and bring back the shine, right? So anyway, a little miniature rant on that. But with that said, I appreciate Richter for kind of bringing us out of our shells. You got me, Richter, because I wasn't initially gonna formally enter this. One of the problems was I use all my knives. Every knife I get, I end up using, for the most part, unless I end up having to trade or move them along down the road. I end up using them, and I put them in my pocket. So I really didn't have anything left, but I figure, once I kind of figured out that this was one of your knives, Richter, I'm talking directly to Richter out there. I figured what an appropriate time to bring this out and carry it for a month. I love it anyway, but let's give it a good run. We'll clean off all the patina and put on our own for the month, and just put it through its paces and really use it because as that pocket knife guy says on his channel, the rule is that we always carry a knife, right? So hope you guys are having a good holiday weekend. It's 4th of July weekend here. It's been a long weekend. Hope you guys are staying safe. Don't get crazy. It is hot. It's muggy, at least out here in the Philly region. So be well, guys. Just hopping on real quick before we go about the rest of our weekend here. But that's what I'm all about right now. Just carrying this guy around. And this is going to be my entry. So you'll be seeing some updates. I'm not sure yet if I'm going to formally do like videos on this or if I'm just going to do some shorts. But probably at least do one video towards the end of the month after everything's said and done. Anyway, guys, that's also my kind of review on this Northfield Sandbar Stag 32 pattern. It's not called an engineer, at least not on the cover, but I sometimes call it an engineer knife because that's what the pattern used to be called. So anyway, I'm loving it so far. I'm sure I'm going to fall in love with it even more after a month of carrying it every day and using it. So stay tuned. Subscribe if you haven't already. Hey, guys, I'm already getting close to 100 subscribers. I'm super excited. I just haven't really done much other than come on here and talk about what I love. So just appreciate the support. Appreciate all the comments. Keep commenting, guys. Let me know what you guys all think about everything because I love talking to y'all, and that's kind of really the fun part about doing all this. It's you guys that keep me going, and I love it. So have a great holiday. Take care.